Greetings, this is the long-awaited Kath Pontos team. These are not the wheels you use. I'm going to explain a core component at the very beginning of the video. My editor is going to splice together the clips because I have like an hour of content of me doing like 3 alert 5s, 2 story modes of the Kath Pontos team. But I'm going to explain to you how it works here in the intro, and my editor will do something. So why is Kath Pontos particularly good? Since it's a mono blue or chaos blue comp, the starting tentacle damage is a lot higher than the other traditional Pontos comp if you mix him with Carol and stuff. This is the starting tentacle damage with Kath Pontos. And Kath Pontos in the video scales Pontos just as strong as his gaunts. You don't need to play discard posse in a Kath Pontos. You play Kath Posse. You don't really discard, and you hold the gaunts. You're going to spend the mob waves, getting them low, and in the current D-Tide system, Kath Pontos is strong enough with base, stance, turn 1 stance, that you can just red stance, play this for example, get a bunch of strength, and do a shit ton of damage off the bat, and if they have Vuln, and if you have your X card, it can clear most mob waves in hard mode, story mode, etc, etc. Why is this particularly strong? So I made a comparison at the very beginning here, so I can explain. So that is that. So I put no wheels on these guys. I'm using the same thing. So let's swap to Ultra. So, blah, blah, blah. So you notice the starting tentacle damage in the Kath Pontos and how fast we scaled it. And again, in the clips that my editor's going to clip together, you're going to see that as well. So if I was using, say, Caster, my starting tentacle damage is verifiably less. And this is with a level 90 Caster. It's also a bigger plane. You also do less tentacle damage because, you know, it's other effects with the debuff of having a mixed realm. If I weren't using my whaled Caster, this is the starting tentacle damage in Caster on a Pontos team. See how low it is? This is my typical alert 5 team. Now, Pontos is very good at scaling. The benefit of having a Kath Pontos team is that your starting tentacle damage is also higher. So the battles end quicker, you get them low quicker for the Pontos Exalt for the kill. How this comp works is that besides, what I just explained earlier, you farm the kills on Pontos while playing your Kath. Now, since you're doing multiple hyper flares and solar flares, as you'll see in the clips, if my editor edited correctly, if they don't, you find their house, you strangle them alive. Other videos I edit, you can know, the video that last video my editor edited was the tips and tricks video. So, let me know if the editor does the good job here. So it is not a Pontos carry comp. It is a Kath carry comp with Pontos. So why is Pontos here? What do you do with Pontos? Typically you run a Kath posse, like usual. And since Kath on mob waves provides the shields, Pontos provides the strength down and additional effects. Now, since the starting tentacle damage is so high, you can even red stance, burst them down, and start killing the first turn, as I do in some of these clips, and farm kills with the Pontos. That's the key. Now, you don't really you stall with Kath. Now, Feast Kath works better, but I didn't build a Feast Kath. And if you're playing Kath right, not playing like fucking Kaylee, the retard, it should be very, very, very easy to reduce the mob's HP. You don't hold the hyperflare. You just hyperflare it down, and when they're low enough, you Pontos Exalt. You farm the 3 kills every mob battle. You don't really have the comp online until the boss battle. The boss battle is where it really shines. Now, if you watch my Pontos to Will story mode clear with Caucus, you should know how this comp generally works. During a boss fight, you notice you have the gaunt words, and you have the conjoined gaunts, slay gaunts. Now, the slay gaunts act as a way to buff your crit damage. And on a super burst turn, you play those Slagons, 0 costs, red stance, and then, generally speaking, in this clip, I didn't build up that high because I didn't get enough kills, but just showcase you. But in that case, I think I reached like 140, 168% crit damage increase on the Kath. And then Kath takes advantage of the crit damage Pontos gives her. Because Pontos is the best crit damage buffer for your team in the game. And on that turn, if you're doing this right, with a built Kath, built Pontos, you are going to hit for roughly 1.5 to 2 million damage hyper flares. Unfortunately, I was not able to build up that much. You know why? The boss died. The boss died before I was able to scale it up to where I want to showcase. But mathematically speaking, it works. Additional strength of this comp. You can be selfish and just play Kath cards. Because Pontos' cards are all retain prepare in essence. His Gauntwords are retain prepare. You don't have to play them immediately. You can keep them in your hand until they're cheaper. In addition, since Pontos has X cards, after you do your full Kath combo, you're out of Alimus, you can just play his X card. In addition, since Kath excels in long exploration stages, she pairs well with Pontos, which helps you stall the long exploration stages with White Stance. Since you have Divine Blue White Stance, it is very good on a Kath team. Sometimes you cannot shield off Kath completely, as you'll see in some of these footage if my editor puts together correctly. If the footage does not go with the audio, do not blame me. Blame her, them, it, she, he, they, whatever pronouns they use, I don't know. Creature, Oliver Twist. Blame them. Kill them. You're not going to be able to full shield on Kath every turn, usually. Some turns, you're going to get a weak puny shield. That's where the White Stance come in, motherfucker. And you can even White Stance first turn. And that White Stance, depending on your HP of your team, will give between 400 to 700 shield, in addition to whatever your Kath already gives you. So you can stall quite easily in this comp. Plus, another benefit of this comp: strength gain from the Kath. You do not have to only scale your tentacle damage with the Pontos cards. You're also going to scale the tentacle damage with Kath. Strength. So this comp has multiple vectors of scaling. Multiple survivability vectors. Because right now, you only have the shield and the occasional weakness if you're running Riker with Kath. In this comp, you get the shield, you get the blue stance shield, you have Pontos' Exalt strength down, you have a shit ton of resources. And not only that, another benefit of this comp, besides the Slagons buffing Kath's damage during a burst turn, is Pontos', I think it was, whatever the Gaunt that gives you insight is, motherfucker. Is it Raid Gaunt? Is it Vex Gaunt? I think it's Raid Gaunt. He's raiding your fucking house for fucking insights. He's a fucking little crack addict, dude. He's raiding your card for draw 1+1 mana. It will charge up the alimus of your entire team and give you insights. What the fuck do I do with all these insights, players? Well, play more Kath cards, motherfucker. Draw more Kath cards. This will ensure you don't have a dead Kath turn, and you always have a place to transfer Kath's Fiemma to. So you're not playing like a fucking retard, playing fucking Kath's Fiemma cards without somewhere to transfer it to. You know who I'm talking about. If you don't know how to play Kath in the first 5 minutes, sorry. You're a fucking retard. You're fucking Kaylee, dude. So yeah, that is another reason why Pontos goes well with Kath. He can take advantage of all of his Gaunts to buff up the Kath, plus the Blue Realm effects. Now, how else does it help? So, on a, let's say, a dead burst turn, you can still live with White Stance, you can shield up, or you can just hyper flare. You're going to stall, and Kath is going to get stronger. It provides the additional survivability. So on this Kath Pontos team, you're also not going to die just like the Pontos to the Will team. Now, what are the big weaknesses of this team? Bleed. Because there's no innate healing on this team, if you fight a boss that bleeds, you have to just cope with the shield. Because the strength down effect is worthless in that scenario. It kind of sucks. But that's the only clear weakness. But other than that, there's not really any weakness. Again, you do not play the Pontos' gaunts almost ever during mob fights. Only a few cases when you're about to get killed to buff yourself. It's only for the boss fight. Because you can just play Kath like usual, and Pontos just sits there in the fucking cuck chair. Okay? Ready to fuck. Okay. Let's say Pontos. Let's say the enemy is Pontos' husband or wife. I don't know if he's gay or straight. Let me just make up a scenario here. Let's say the enemy, the boss, or the mob fights. Any mob fights is Pontos' wife, Mildred. Why should I Mildred? Bonnie Blue. Let's say Pontos' wife is Bonnie Blue. Okay? Pontos is an old man. He can't fuck her the way he used to fuck her. Okay? Fucking in this scenario is exulting to kill and getting the extra gaunt cards. So, because fucking Bonnie Blue has such a big HP bar, he can only take apart a little bit of the HP bar. Okay? That's why Pontos calls upon his friend Kath. Consensually. Kath is a lot younger than Pontos. She's a DPS unit for real, not a support unit. Kath's job is going to town on Bonnie Blue, Pontos' wife, over and over and over again. The boss, the enemy. Getting her tuckered out so Pontos can finish the job. And every time he finishes the job, he gets a gaunt. If the gaunt in this scenario is confidence. Confidence. He fully satisfied his wife, the enemy. He finished her off. Now, once he gets enough confidence going for all the mob battles, let's change it a little bit. Let's make this like a harem, like a concubine harem. Okay, he's fucking all these like concubines, these consorts. He's building up his EXP bar with the help of Kath. Kath is helping him train on these, low-level concubines so that he can power up to help Kath conquer the Empress. Because the Empress is the big boss. He is ready. That's the best analogy I can come up with. I hope that explains how to play the comp. That's how you should think of the comp here. Okay? Kath is doing most of the work, but she's helping Pontos get stronger. So they help each other. They help each other fuck a string of concubines in order to teach Pontos the lessons of life. It could be a Disney movie. What else do I talk about this comp? Right. Covenants. You use Dreams on Pontos. Dreams is so he has more cards, like more Gaunt words and more X cards. You always want Dreams on Pontos here. You want either Paradox or Feast on Kath, depending on how strong your Kath is. What are the two other fuckers? Anyone you want. I use Murphy and I use Riker just for the Vaughn weakness. Why? Because Riker has dice. You don't need to use Riker. Use anyone that gives you Vaughn or weakness that does not cost a lot of mana to play. In my case, it is Riker. Very, very cheap. you don't have to play his cards to get the Vaughn weakness dice. That's why I chose Riker. You can fill this in with anyone you fucking want. You can use Karen. You can use, what's it called? What's another, Vaughn unit? There's not a lot of Vaughn units nowadays. There's not a lot of Vaughn units. They didn't even release a Vaughn unit. I looked it up. It's been like almost over a year. It's actually been over a year since we had a unit with Vaughn. So, we're never gonna get fucking Vaughn again, dude. But yeah, fill the last 2 slots with whatever you want. I'm not saying Riker Murphy is the best. I'm just saying that's what I use to make the video. Because Riker Murphy, I don't play their cards, so I can show that you don't play those other two fuckers. You ignore the other 2 fuckers. Now, you pick what you put in here. Riker Murphy, I choose because I can just ignore them for the video so that you fucking retards don't go like, Flares, I don't have this unit. You used one of their cards. That means I have to get them because Flares it only works with these 2 units. Because I saw Flares using their cards. Yeah, I don't use Riker or fucking Murphy cards in this video. So, maybe I did use it a few times. I don't know. I don't fucking know. So, I use it as little as possible. So, to showcase, you can just put any 2 fuckers into these slots. You want to put Corporal here for whatever fucking reason? It will not work because you need to have fucking Calf Exo afterwards to have the Fiamma. It discards your Fiamma. You don't want to do that. You're fucking retarded if you do that. If you want to use G Murphy, that'll work. You want to use anything else for main story? Sure. Just make sure it fucking makes sense. The point of every comp is every unit has a place in that comp. Whether it's to do nothing or to do something. Never put a unit in a comp where you go like, I guess this works. Think about how it will work in the fight. It's not that hard to make comps in this game, dude. Unless you're fucking Kaylee, I guess. So, yeah. This is the audio. How fucking long is this audio? Is it long enough for my editor? 16 minutes. Editor, do your magic.